Welcome to Real Online tutorial. Now let's look at this exponential equation, and here it is that 5 root 5 all raised to the power of x then equals the square root of x raised to the power of 15. Now we are told to find the value of what? X. Alright, so how do you go about it? Now first of all, since at the right hand side there we're having a square root of x raised to the power of 15, I guess the first thing we need to do first is to undo the square root. Okay, now by undoing the square root, since we have the square root, for us to undo any square root, we have to raise it to the power of 2. So which implies that the equation, which is the two sides of the equation, will be raised to the power of 2. So it means that here we have 5 root 5 all raised to the power of x, then by raising it all raised to the power of 2, then equals now the square root of x raised to the power of 15 all raised to the power of what? 2. Okay, at this point now the square here will undo the square root. Okay, now and according to the law of indices, if you have a raised to the power of m all raised to the power of what? N, as long as we have m and n which is equal, you can see similar. Now this can also be written as a raised to the power of what? Mn. So applying that rule here, it means that x will multiply 2, giving us what? 2x. So here we have 5 root 5 all raised to the power of what? 2x. Okay. However, something just dropped into my mind now. Now, since we have a raised to the power of what? M raised to the power of n, this can also be written as what? A raised to the power of n all raised to the power of what? M. Okay. Now, this is to help us simplify this further with a known degree. So at this point now, let us just swap this. Now by swapping, we can now say this is then we are left with what? 15 raised to the power of what? X. Okay. Now with this, now we can now actually distribute 2 to the terms in the parentheses here. So which will give us 5 raised to the power of 2 give us 25. So here 25, then times the square root of 5 raised to the power of 2 give us what? 5. Then all raised to the power of what? X, then equals x raised to the power of what? 15. Okay, now here we have x as an exponent and here we have x as a base. Okay, so what do we do? Okay, let me do this. Now let me just put it in index form. Now since here you have 25 times 5, and we can actually change 25 to the power of to a base of 5, which will give us 5 raised to the power of 2. So this will give us 5 raised to the power of 2. Okay, and according to the law of indices, as long as two terms rather with the same base, okay, then the power, we can add the power. So at the end of the day, we have 5 raised to the power of what? 3 all raised to the power of x, then equals what? X raised to the power of what? 15. So at this point now, I want to bring all the x's together. However, this x here at the left hand side is an exponent, and the x at the right hand side is a base. Now what we need to do first here now, since our x here is raised to the power of what? 15, and I want to first of all undo this the raised to the power of 15. What we need to do is to raise both sides to the reciprocal of the exponent, which means 1 over what? 15, and here also 1 over what? 15. Okay, by doing this I can undo the exponent. Then we are left with 5 raised to the power of 3, okay, all raised to the power of x, then all raised to the power of 1 over 15, then equals what? X. Okay, so we can see applying this rule here. Now take note, we just have 3 powers here. Okay, now we can actually multiply all. Okay, by multiplying all, we can end up having this. Now since 3 times x will give us 3x. Now 3x times 1 over 15, let's come here. 3x times 1 over what? 15. Since we have a known term here, so this is 3 here 1, 3 here 5. So we are left with what? X all over what? 5. So the whole of 1, 2, 3 will now amount to what? 5 raised to the power of what? X all over 5 then equals what? X. Okay, I guess we are getting somewhere. Now at this point now I've succeeded in bringing a value now to the base 5. So how now do I move this x over to the right hand side? Now since here we have is raised to the power of x, now we have to raise both sides to the reciprocal of x. Okay, but so we have 5 raised to the power of x all over 5, then we'll raise this to the reciprocal of x, then same thing here, x raised to the power of the reciprocal of what? X. So at this point now, we can actually do something here, that x all over 5 times 1 all over x. Following this rule, okay, so you can just eliminate this. We are left with what? 1 over what? 5. So it means the product of x all over 5 and 1 over 5 will give us what? 1 over 5. So we are left with what? 5 raised to the power of 1 over 5 then equals x raised to the power of 1 over what? X. Now looking at this now, you can see by comparison, by the left hand side has the same pattern as the right hand side, and by comparison we can just conclude that x equals what? 5. Thank you and God bless you.